into the hobby.
Go ahead, Tim.
All right. Well, we are KG and Ringy, King George and Ringmaster Tim from the TV show Diggers, which aired for 4 years on the National Geographic Channel. And then the next TV show was Digging with KG and Ringy on the Pursuit Channel, and that went for a couple of seasons. And so altogether, I think we did 88,
Wow.
I don't know, just under 90 TV shows all over. Diggers was filmed all in the United States and its territories, the Virgin Islands or whatever it is, St. Croix, we did a show there. And then the new show, which is, you know, if you go to diggintv.com, you can go see those for free because we still own the rights to those. And they're filmed all over the world, right, Cage? Netherlands, Germany, Russia, Australia. Even England. Right. We were in England.
Yeah, we love England. That's probably one of our all-time favorite spots to go. Even today, we still love coming to England and visiting you guys and hanging out over there. The laws are pretty nice in England. I really actually like how it's all set up.
Yeah, at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a slight change. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. Diggers actually aired worldwide, and I think it's on iTunes and sometimes it's on Netflix and all that. So the original TV show was Diggers, and now it's just Digging with KG and the Ringmaster. So, yeah, we've been all over. So that's who we are.
And you recently came to England a few weeks ago, didn't you, or a month ago, with the Garrett team?
Yeah, we actually ran into Dave over there as usual, and he gave us nice gifts and everything. Everything was really cordial. There was no bullying or strong arming of any kind. But let's see if I can find this here. Yeah, that's not it. Oh, he gave me something. Or no, this one was this the one?
We're not talking about the clap, are we?
No.
No.
Oh, that's nice.
I got a nice first the last King of America coin. Yeah. While I was over there.
Hey, he thought you all messed up, Dave.
No. This is from Graham, the cleaning pencil guys, but they always have their tables sitting right next to each other.
Right.
You know, they're messing with each other all the time.
No, we're bros. Me and Graham, that's the only reason we go, so we can like sit next to each other.
Yeah.
He's a nice bloke, Graham. Have you got some of the cleaning pencil products? Is there anything like that in the States?
Well, I think they carry the same product at Digger's Den, and that's on the East Coast somewhere. So you can buy them here. If you go through them, they'll send them out to you. Or you can watch our podcast and get it for free because we give them away. Every time we go over there, Graham gives us a bag of them to take home and give away. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So go KG. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I know you guys have been trying to get us on the show for a long time, and we apologize for not getting on here like 4, 5, 6 years ago, but you know, everything lined up this time, and here we are. I mean, you guys are awesome people, and I just wanted to say sorry you haven't been on here sooner, but now you got us, so you can do whatever you want with us.
Yeah.
Dudes, we know how busy you are. We know how much you travel. You know, we do appreciate you coming on, and I don't bother you. I only contact you once a year, and that's when you're over here and say, you're coming on the show. Yeah. But you always do. You always do a little interview for us. If it wasn't for yourselves, the very, very, very original format at Detectable 2018, we were originally working with Mike Hare from All Metal Mode. And if you remember, you robbed me phone, George, for 2 hours, and we're doing a live show. Excuse me. So it goes back now 5 years. But hell, it's not that long. Is it 28? Yeah, it was 2018. It goes back 5 years. So in effect, how well that went with yourselves led on to the show being what it is today. So it's your fault.
Yeah, we get blamed for a lot of stuff. Yeah. It happens a lot.
Yeah, it was funny because our show when Diggers first came out, it was funny. There wasn't even a YouTube video out of metal detecting and stuff. And we were so into filming, we were so busy filming, and we were gone like 3 weeks. We'd come home 4 or 5 days. We'd be gone 3 weeks, that we didn't have enough time to play around with YouTube. So we kind of missed the YouTube boat. But now I guess you can find anything you want on YouTube. But yeah, we kind of spearheaded it all.
Yeah.
Well, as I said to you a few times, there was, over the past 10 years or so, the two booms in the UK metal detecting industry first came from, in the UK, it was called American Diggers. I don't know why. It was down to yourselves and then the Detectorist. So, the boom in the industry of metal detecting in the UK, again, was your fault.
Yeah, our show aired worldwide. I mean, it was literally all over the world. In fact, we were talking with a couple of the Noctra people at Detectable, and they said our Diggers TV show was playing on Turkish Airways when they were flying to Detectable a few weeks ago. It was like, yeah.
Yeah, they can't escape. They can't escape us. And
yeah.
So how long have you actually both been detecting? What got you into the hobby originally?
You want me to go with this?
Yeah,
Cage?
you go.
All right. Well, I started a little bit earlier than KG, and that was back when I still lived in Iowa. This is before I moved to Montana, and that's where I met KG. He was born and raised in Montana. I was born in Iowa, and then I moved to Montana for 14 years, and that's where this whole thing got rolling and everything. But preceding that, I was always like a coin nerd. I'd take my little pennies and put them in the little books and collect them when I was a kid. And one day I saw somebody with a metal detector, and he was this other person I had met in town. And I just said, you can really tell what's under the ground with this? It was like some old White's machine. And he goes, yeah, there's a silver quarter under here. And, this was an older machine, one of those boxy ones. And he gave me the shovel and he goes, dig it up. It'll be a silver quarter. And I was just stunned. I couldn't believe that he would know that and that was really possible. And so I dug it up, sure enough, silver quarter. And I was like, okay, that's it. I'm saving up. I need a metal detector. And that's what started me. I only went for about, I'd say 3 months. I found my first few things and I was into it, but then I got into a rock band and that lasted 20 years and, the guitars, women, that kind of thing took precedence.
Yeah. Everything that'll get you in serious trouble. Guitars and women.
Yeah,
and
that's what happened. I don't know, KG froze up. But so anyway, I went off in that direction. Then I moved to Montana and I met him and I found my old detector under the bed. And I thought, I'm just going to check my yard. And I found 2 or 3 silver dimes in it. And I thought, hey, this is cool. I'm going to get back into it. And long story short, I met KG and he's like, let's both get new detectors. And we got these Garrett GTI 2500s, the green ones that talk to you. And they said,
they were cool.
There's a quarter at 3 inches deep. The girl's voice would tell you what was in the ground. It was pretty cool. And we started out there and it snowballed into us just inventing our own language and stuff just to make each other laugh. But we had no clue that we'd ever be on TV and that anybody else would ever use the language or any of that stuff. We were just trying to make each other laugh.
To which I still call out roundness in the hole. I still shout it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like we said the dumbest things we could think of just to make each other laugh. And then here it became the industry vernacular. It still makes me laugh. Ridiculous.
Yeah. I was actually born and raised in Montana. And Montana it's still kind of the Wild West, I mean, we had Indians and we had mining and we had gold and silver and all that. And me being born and raised there, I always heard stories about these old timers during, the Great Depression and stuff like that, how they hid their money all over the place. I talked to a couple old timers that were searching these old cabins out in the middle of nowhere in the Montana mountains. And one of them found an old cabin that had fallen over. It was an old log cabin. And there was a busted mason jar full of silver coins that must have been hidden in the eaves of the house. And when it fell over, this jar broke and spilled coins all over. Well, he was hunting elk or deer, and he come across this, and he's always telling me stories about money and these old places like that. And like I say, the Indian wars happened all over Montana here and stuff like that. So it was a perfect fit when Tim came in for us to buy metal detectors and just go out and start hitting these old cabins, because I know Montana mountains like the back of my hand. So we went to old cabins, old campsite, old, stuff like legally that we could go to. And we just started pulling out silver coins, and it was just amazing. So nobody had a DVD out there. Nobody had a YouTube video and that. And Tim was a computer programmer. So I told him, I said, we should just form a company and make DVDs. Maybe we could sell a DVD once in a while. And then we would joke around and say, could you imagine if somebody would pay us to metal detect? And then we'd start laughing and we'd say, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard, And then so we made 3 DVDs. We ended up making 6 DVDs. And I used to work as a heavy equipment operator in a mine here in Montana. And every once in a while, Tim would call me and he'd say, hey, we just sold a DVD on Amazon. We just sold a DVD on eBay. And we would start laughing, thinking, oh, we're going to be huge one day. And it was just so far-fetched, and then all of a sudden, some lady called Tim. He might want to tell you the story about how we kind of got started.
I was still writing code for an insurance company, and I'm sitting there, and we'd call each other during the day. He was working at the mine 20 miles away from me, and I was working out of my house, and the phone rang, and this poor woman was on the phone and said, hey, we'd like to, make a TV show out of you and George, and of course I just assumed that KG was setting me up and this was a joke. So I was giving her all kinds of problems for at least 5 minutes, until she finally convinced me it was a legitimate call, and like I had blamed George for it. I thought he was just trying to get me going and stuff. And the poor woman was like almost exasperated, and so finally she's like, what do I have to do to convince you this is legitimate? Like, we're going to send some people out with cameras, and they filmed a little teaser reel, sold it to National Geographic, and then we made the 2 pilot shows, and it just exploded from there. Did
you keep your jobs, or did you sort of?
Well, weirdly enough, we were working in completely different places, obviously, but both of our companies gave us 6 month a 6 month leave of absence, which was almost unheard of. And they said, yeah, go ahead and film your season 1, and when it's all done, you can come back to work. And we did that, and of course they renewed it for 4 years, and it kept going. We ended up making 60 some shows, so we ended up never going back to work after that. But we had that little buffer, at least, to see if it was a success, which it turned out to be. And the funny thing is my boss kept me on because he wanted me to come back to work for him, and he never took me off the books or whatever. And one day, like 3 years after the show had been running, I hadn't written a line of code for 3 or 4 years. He calls me up and he goes, hey, Tim. And I'm like, I couldn't believe he was even calling me. He goes, I got some bad news. HR called me and they're forcing me to take you off the books, so you're fired.
What about you, KG? Is that the same for you?
Pretty much. Like, I worked in the mines, and it's a Fortune 500 company. Multi-million-dollar company. But the vice president of the whole company, he liked me. I didn't really know him, but I explained to him what I was doing, and I was a fill-in foreman, a boss. So I had an office every once in a while that when I was fill-in, I would go sit in the office across from his office. He'd come in and start talking to me, and I started telling him about our adventures and metal detecting and all that. So when it came out that, we needed to take some time off and go film season 1, because you never know if there's a season 2 or 3 or 4 ever, you'll learn that later. Well, he did the same thing. He gave me a 6-month leave of absence. He goes, you just come back. He goes, you'll walk right into the same job. He goes, I like you. I like, you're a good worker and stuff. He said, I wouldn't normally do that, but I'm going to do that with you. Well, we did it. We went out and we filmed. And like I say, I had 2 teenage girls at home. My wife was running